Special day on Saturday as the World Pool travels in 2024 to day one of the Irish Champions Festival at Leopardstown. It's an institution in its own right this weekend. First race of 9 on the day is the Ingabel Stakes. It's for the juvenile fillies, and it's a listed contest as we swing into action, and they'll be swinging left, as you can see there on the course map at Leopardstown before they face the packed grandstand, no doubt. Right, there are your 10 runners, and so to bed, bubbling. Shantae will be talking about go down to Garden of Eden, Indigo Dream, Mojave River, Too Late Baby Doll, and Unexpected Issues. They are fillies at the early stage of their career, far more seasoned pros alongside me. We're going to have Fran Berry, here he is, and Graham Cunningham, of course, here in the studio. Graham, should we talk about Shantae and track the story so far?
We should, Nick. Ger Lyons, as we know, has got a really strong team of 2-year-old fillies this season. Let's pick up on Shantae first time out. As you can see, it's Leopardstown. It's 1,400 metres. Shantae runs a belter, just going down in a tight finish behind Aidan O'Brien's exactly. But keep an eye on the filly staying on well into fourth. That is bubbling. More of her in the moment. But Shantae showed bags of promise first time out. And Fran, when we move on to Leopardstown, again over 1,400 metres, second time out, Fran, she made no mistake.
Yeah, a lot more streetwise here, especially what it was throughout the race. The grey Indigo Dream, who reopposes, plenty of experience. She had the benefit of a decent run also, the grey Dakara. But Shantae firmly in her comfort zone here, went through the race in a really good manner, showed a little bit of an experience when she got to the front, rolling towards that far side rail. But underhand right for Colin Keane, she stamped herself for Ger Lyons and his team as another smart filly. He's got an exciting bunch of juvenile 2-year-old fillies at present. Shantae, 2 runs around the track. This has been a target for her all season, I would imagine. The trainer's won this race a couple of times in the past recent years. She's a big player here.
Graham, let's have a look at, as you mentioned, bubbling. We saw her nice and encouraging debut. This was start 2. Aidan O'Brien's got 3 in this race. Is bubbling the pick?
I think she might be more than 3 lengths behind Shantae first time out, but she was caught briefly in a pocket and she came on plenty for that at Galway. Fran, it looks like this race is better than all right, because I think the second and third have both ranked the form since. So it looks as if we have a filly here who's on the upgrade.
Yeah, really good performance. Tough ask to win around Galway and Wyndham Manor, which that filly did, bubbling. She picked up really well, very, very strong inside the final furlong. Would have learned a lot there. She'll improve a lot for this experience. And as the apparent stable first string, I think she sets a really good standard. She will be sharper. Will know how to jump, travel out of gates. And for me, she can only improve off this. Put Daylight, as you said, Graham, behind 2 fillies that have franked the form to an extent. Since then, a lot to like about her.
Yeah, I like bubbling. She's got those Group 1 entries for the end of the year. The 1, 2, 3, 4 to get us going, Graham.
I'm hoping it can be Ger Lyons and Shantae. She looks like she's improving. She'll need to be, but she's got good speed and good Leopardstown form. 3, 2, 7 and 6. Keep an eye on number 7, Mojave River. Haven't mentioned her so far, but she made a good impression first time out in France for Joseph O'Brien. But it's 3, 2, 7, 6 for me in race 1.
Fran, what about you?
Yeah, hunters will remember Content, a Group 1 winner, got beaten in this race last year for Trader and O'Brien. But for me, 2, bubbling, sets really good standard based on that recent win at Galway. Shantae, course and distance winner number 3, back in second. Nancy J, very good performance to win at Gorham Park recently, back in third, number 8. And number 1, So to Bed in 4th place at a bigger price, the apparent Joseph O'Brien second string.
Gents, thank you very much indeed. For what it's worth, I'm going to be going for number 2, bubbling to win it. Our first race on World Pool Big Day at Leopardstown. It's Irish Champions Day. Race 2 on Saturday, this big World Pool Day at Leopardstown. It's the first of the group races, and it is the Champion Juvenile race. The stars of the future in action, only a few of them, admittedly. We've only got 4 for this Group 2 event. Interestingly enough, the last 2 winners of this very race are both in action on today's card later on, those being August Rodin and Diego Velazquez, both of which trained by Aidan O'Brien, who's got 2 of the 4. He's got Bernard Shaw and De La Croix, the latter ridden by Ryan Moore. We've got Green Impact there, and another green triangle. De La Croix looks the first string, Graham. What have you made of him?
Well, what a pedigree, first of all, by Dubawi, out of the star American filly Tepin, who came to Royal Ascot. He looks smart and he looks uncomplicated. We pick him up second time out. We'll see him again in a moment behind Green Impact, but this is him obliging at a short price. I like this performance, Fran, especially as he came home in 22 seconds. He quickened sharply off the front end.
Yeah, and he also got very upset in the gates pre-race. He luckily got away in terms, and he showed signs of inexperience all the way through the last couple of furlongs last couple of 100 meters before lengthening to win readily inside the final 100 meters. That race has been working out pretty well since then. He looks like he's a work in progress, racing around the turn, going left-handed at Leopardstown should suit him very well. He's a worthy first string for the champion trainer.
Come on then, Fran. I'll stick with you and we'll work back and have a look at Delacroix's debut, which is pertinent form given the fact that Green Impact, who was on top that day, reopposes.
Indeed, and Green Impact had the benefit of a really cracking debut run at the Curragh.
Yeah.
Probably the best maiden that's been run in Ireland this year at Irish Derby weekend. This horse finishing second, has done on that occasion. He used Shane Foley in front here, all of his experience to keep on well to win. Green Impact boxing on strongly. Big unit, physically immature at this stage of the season. I'm excited to see how he looks in the parade ring ahead of the race on Saturday, but his experience counted for a lot here, beating Delacroix readily inside the final furlong. They've been giving him time since then to mature. Could be a different horse here again. He needs to improve based on the subsequent run of Delacroix, but I can see him being very competitive against a likely favourite.
OK, Graham, let's have a look at the Ballydor second string. That is Bernard Shaw, who won by a very wide margin on the Poly track at Dundalk last time.
I'm not sure about second string. Either way, this horse came on a bundle for his first run at the Curragh. Fran, this is, to the naked eye, visually quite striking. But how deep a race was this? Because I have a feeling it wasn't the deepest maiden race we've seen in Ireland this year. Is that correct?
No, and it should be noted, Poly track in the summer at Dundalk, the surface can ride very slow. You can see the way the winners stretch clear inside the final furlong, but it's slow motion stuff to an extent. The eventual second home has got beaten since then, but if you're looking for a strand of form to ties in with Delacroix, the eventual third in the Aga Khan cut was Tangapur. He went on, he's beat 11 lengths with Bernard Shaw on that occasion. He was beat 7 lengths by Green Impact and Delacroix Leopardstown on his debut run as well. So did he go backwards, or did Bernard Shaw improve for his run? We'll find out more on Saturday, but it was a pretty taken performance. But all-weather form during the summer on a slow surface, it can get exaggerated winning margins. For all that, it could be a nice prospect.
Lovely, Fran. Right, look, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all going to make the frame, Graham, but in what order?
It's going to be 3, 2, 1, 4 for me. Like Fran, I was really encouraged by what I saw from Green Impact. Big, laid-back horse. I think he'll go on with it, but even for now, I think he's a smart prospect, and he can kick off the front end. So 3, 2, 1, 4, Green Impact and Delacroix as the top two.
Fran.
Fascinating tactical race, how it will play out. I would expect Bernard Shaw number 1 to make the running. Delacroix the winner for me though. Number 2 to uphold and reverse form with number 3 Green Impact. Bernard Shaw pace angle back in third, number 1. Green Triangle last of the quartet.
Right, no Brown's won this with subsequent Derby winners in the last decade plus, those being August Rodan and further back Australia. Let's see what Delacroix can do. I hope he can win it, and it's my selection for race 2. Next up, we're going to move on to the third race on the day. This is a good race as well. Looking forward to it. It's got strong British representation this year, and it's gone to the Brits on any number of occasions in recent years. So do keep an eye out for those Raiders. Right, it is a Group 2 race. It is the Tony Bet Solonaway Stakes over 1,600 metres. There you declared runners. Bold Discovery, Flight Plan. That horse is back for more. Won it 12 months ago. You go down to Mao June, Mutasarraf, Poker Face. Further down to the likes of Bright Stripes, Diego Velazquez, Mountain Bear. Let's go to Graham and get the thoughts on Diego Velazquez. It was quite tidy what he did last time.
Yeah, 2.4 million, son of Frankel. It's a slightly checkered record, but it looks like Leopardstown, and a mile or slightly more than a mile is ideal. Kept a bit wide here, Fran, and he pulverised some pretty useful horses. So, in short, he looked firmly back on track last time.
He did very impressive success for all he was in the best part of the track. Ryan Moore intent after morning rain at Leopardstown to keep him wide, but it was a devastating win. The manner in which he beat Tarawa, who went on to win in Group 3 company since then, really has franked the form since then. He's had an abortive trip to Saratoga. The race was called off there. He's back here at a track where he's a very good record. Diego Velazquez, he sets a really good standard, and it should, in theory, tee him up for a good autumn campaign, but this looks his race to lose.
Graham, I want to get your thoughts on Mao June. It's a headgear change, down in grade, down in trips. 7 times in the last 10 years this has gone to a British runner.
Yeah, he frustrates me, this horse. We know the ability's there. We know the rating's pretty high. 119 is the rating for this performance when he ran well, coming on for minor honours in the Sussex Stakes. But he's a slow starter, a hold-up horse who can hit a flat spot. So blinkers changed for cheap pieces this time. It needs to work. I thought he was playing in the International Stakes behind City of Troy. I know he was in extremely deep. That form gives him a great chance, but he's a bit of a frustrating character.
Let's stick a little close to home and get Fran's thoughts on a number of them, but chiefly Mutasaref, Fran, who's having a really good year.
Yeah, what a horse for Ger Lyons and Co. He's fantastic. He's got better and better this year. Multiple listed class winner last season, the year before, but he's back and he's better than ever this season, gaining 2 group success at this track and this win coming over course of distance. He did perfect setup here, taking on last year's 4th in this race, Laura Massous, who ran a good race, not getting much cover in the black cap on this occasion. In comparison, Mutasaref, the inside ground saving run, got a lovely split. Got to commit when he wanted to go and take the lead, and that probably just made a difference late on. Mountain Bear, bit of an enigma, quirky, runs on strongly late on, but that's him. That's where Mountain Bear fits into the equation here today. Mutasaref, I can't stress, horse for course at Leopardstown, when they excel here, they tend to come back and do it. He's in the form of his life at present.
I agree with you. Let's have another look at another British runner, Poker Face, who is trained by the Crisfords. They won this race 2 years ago. They're back for more.
Yeah, this horse thrived. Around about this time last year, he came into his own. He was really consistent, really good quality form. It's a bit more checkered this season. Good performance at Sandown. Couple of blobs, ran badly at Royal Ascot, but this was more likely on softish ground at Goodwood. I think he might be able to come on a little more for this. I don't have him on top, but I do have him running well.
Graham, on top then, who is it?
It's the obvious one. It's Diego Velasquez. If he's in the form he was last time, as Fran said, he'll take a power of beating. As with Fran's opinion, I really like Mutasaref. Horses for courses, solid Leopardstown form after defying the penalty last time. 6 Poker Face and 4 Maljum, but 10 Diego Velasquez on top.
OK, Fran, what about you?
Diego Velasquez, the winner for me. A horse on his way to Group 1 honours on the back of this run. Number 10, Maljum, headgear on down the trip, change of headgear. Number 4 back in second. Leopardstown specialist Mutasaref picking up the pieces back in third. Number 5. And the Enigma and a quirky Mountain Bear running on when it's all over to be fourth, number 12.
Hate to be in agreement and make it a team steam, but I think he's got so much ability. Number 10, Diego Velasquez, who cost a pretty penny, but he's starting to show it now exactly what he can do, and I hope he can win on Saturday. Best of luck, whatever you're going for. The next race is the first of the Group 1s. It is the Matron Stakes, 1,600 metres. Some very, very good fillies indeed. So there is your course map. You'll be familiar with that as we work on to race 4, the Coolmore America Justified Matron Stakes, to give it its full title. Big prize money, 10 go out. Magical Sunset heads them, but there's some extremely talented fillies in here. Fallen Angel, Genesis is an unknown quantity. Porta Fortuna is the now filly in so many ways. You go down to Ylang Ylang. Where are we with her? Well, the guys might shed some light. But Graham, I want to go in with, as I said, the now filly, Porta Fortuna, and what a 3-year-old year she's having. And
how she's come on since she was beaten in the Moyglare behind Fallen Angel this time last year. She's just highly efficient. She's not particularly flash in terms of physical appearance, but she's very uncomplicated in her run style. She ran extremely well in the 1,000 guineas. She won at Royal Ascot, and here we pick her up winning the Falmouth Stakes at Newmarket and winning, Fran, in a manner which the form book suggested she might. She's a cracker.
She is, and bomb-proof in everything. Tactics, running around a bend, going different directions. Right-handed Royal Ascot, going left-handed Breeders' Cup last year. Straight tracks. It's very, very hard to pick any holes in Porta Fortuna. She can jump, sit handy, sit back in the pack. There is nothing to fault with her at all, and she's got a really good setup again here on Saturday.
Graham, I want to get your thoughts on Fallen Angel. I know we were sat previewing the Irish 1,000 guineas way back when, and you were a big fan. She didn't let you down this day, Fallen Angel. We've not seen her since, but someone has put their hand in their pocket.
I still am a big fan, but not quite as big a fan as them boys from Wathnan Racing. I don't know how much they paid to buy this filly from previous owner, the Clipper Logistics team, but it must be nearer 10 million than 5, I would suggest. Here she is a dominant winner of the Irish 1,000 guineas. there's a but. There's always a but. She's had a slight setback since then. She missed Royal Ascot because of some bone bruising, but I think her running style will lend itself very well to Leopardstown. And if she's the same filly she was on this day, she's a major danger to all.
She must be. Fran, let's get your thoughts on last year's form in this very race. Rogue Millennium, she's back for more. She finished second to Tahira. She's trained by Joseph O'Brien, and just for context, this was under a different trainer. Joseph, of course, looking to down his brother Donica, who's got Porta Fortuna.
Yeah, and it could be that Rogue Millennium is working her way back to the form that she showed here last year. Good run in France last time, went third in that Group 1 at Deauville. Here she is boxing on, trying to give away to a champion 3-year-old in Tahira on this occasion. But it was a cracking effort, just beautiful, well ridden in the black and white colours on the speed. That was the story of the early race last year at this meeting. The speed was firmly holding up, but she did finish off well, Rogue Millennium. But she was on a real roll then. She was improving. She's got to really be back to that form to figure here on this occasion, for all that it looks like she is just getting there for her current trainer.
Completely agree. Now, Graham, the lesser known quantity, almost unknown quantity in so many ways, Jancis.
I think it's 10 years since trainer Willie McCreary won his first and only Group 1 at the moment in this race with Fierce Alana. Here comes Jancis. I'm going to throw to Fran very quickly. She popped up at 40-1 first time out. She showed a real zip here in a Group 3 at Leopardstown, so the track is a big plus. The turn of foot on the outside here is eye-catching. But Fran, she isn't the only Willie McCreary runner on deck this weekend.
No, and rider Billy Lee takes the ride in Vespertillo, or stable companion. But Jancis, I don't think they know how good she is, and we don't either. This was very, very impressive. That turn of foot, it looked on debut like the leaders went off too quick and played to her strengths. The race fell into her lap. She confirmed, though, in that Group 3 success that it wasn't a fluke. She's gone on to win Redley, the eventual third home special won at Kentucky Downs last weekend, and a second has gone on to run well in Deauville in listed company since then. Form looks good. She does need to improve, but could be open to any amount of improvement. Course experience in her style of racing, she'll be finishing strongly at the death. But Vespertillo, highly interested in rider Billy Lee takes the ride. Cracking run the French Guineas early in the year. Her form last season ties in with Fallen Angel. I would forgive her a run the Irish Guineas. Very quick turnaround from travelling to France, running a cracker to French Guineas. You'll see a different filly, I think, on Saturday, and rider Billy Lee must think so as well.
Good case made. We haven't even mentioned Ylang Ylang. Graham, you're 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's going to be 4, 6, 7, 5 here. Fallen Angel's had a break, and that is a slight concern. But if she's at her best, we know she's a Group 1 filly. So is Porta Fortuna, so she has to be high up. The one at a price, who I think will run well, we haven't mentioned, is Soprano. She's been found out in a couple of steadily run races, but when she gets a gallop, she's a really, really smart filly. And she dominated in Group 3 company in France last time. 5 Jancis in for fourth, but 4, 6, 7, 5 with Fallen Angel on top.
Right, Fran, what about you?
Porta Fortuna is the winner for me, number 6, multiple Group 1 winner. I just think she's better than her rivals. Vespertillo will be back to her best, I hope, back in second, number 8. Jancis for trainer William McCreary could have a second and third with that one, number 5. And Ylang Ylang will get going too late, but keep on to be fourth, number 10.
Fallen Angel for me, I'm really looking forward to this. It's very much a race to savour come Saturday, the Matron Stakes. Race 5 is the race of the day this Whirlpool Saturday at Leopardstown Irish Champions Festival. This is the Irish Champion Stakes, the Royal Bahrain Irish Champion Stakes as well, 2,000 metres. And boy, oh boy, have we had some hard luck stories, but also superstar performances in this race. Down the years, the last 2 winners of this are present. August Rodin and Luxembourg. Indeed, Aidan O'Brien has won the last 5 of these. He's well represented. Economics, potentially the absolute star act over from the UK. Ghostwriter also travelling over. Los Angeles, the Irish Derby winner, is there. And Shin Emperor adds some Japanese spice to this, but I teed it up. We've had some brilliant performances, but 1 or 2 things down the years probably stick in the mind for the wrong reasons.
Well, for hard luck reasons, Fran, I want to ask you this. This is a race with more what might have been moments than any of the Group 1 races in the calendar, I think. Why is it such a challenging race for jockeys, this?
Yeah, Leopardstown is quite a tricky track. When you're in the stands and look at it, you think it's a beautiful galloping track, but there is a point from the 800-metre mark until the last 300 metres where it can get very congested. It's very inviting to take an inside run initially, but more often not down the inside, you'll run into dead end in the home stretch. And visiting riders over the years, Graham, just with a lack of local knowledge, tend to get caught out on occasions. We've seen it with Christoph Sumion, with Fedini a couple of years ago, Asimov back in the day. He did get it right in Al Mansour when he won the race, but even the best can get caught out of Leopardstown. It's something to bear in mind. Local knowledge, and with trainer Aidan O'Brien having 4 runners in the race, you've got a couple of opposition against you as regards pace and tactics as well as the track.
They should give you a call. Of course they should, Fran. Right, let's have a look at the cast for 2024. Economics. This is exciting, isn't it?
He is really exciting. He could be an ace, but he might need to be. This is him. It was only his 3rd start of his career, the Dante Stakes, and once he gets into top gear, he powers clear. But he's a big, heavy-topped, inexperienced horse. More importantly, Fran, he's a confirmed hold-up horse. He bolted up again at Deauville, but it's my contention that, given that he's likely to be out the back early, he's going to have to come the long way home. I'm not sure the numbers add up at a short price for this fella. What do you think?
I do think he's very, very tight at the top of the betting, but when Tom Marquand and William Haggis got declarations this morning to see in stall number 8, that is a big thing, because with the start in the Irish Champions Stakes, there's a little dog leg after 100 metres. If you're down the inside, you're going to be pinned in against the rail. Stall 8 for him, if he's a hold-up horse, which you know he's going to take back, he's going to have all the options, and I would ride safe rather than going amongst horses in the race. You're going to see Auguste Rodin probably sitting 2nd or 3rd to his rivals, but Al Mansour, we've seen him swoop wide in the past. We've seen a horse do that at Leopardstown. For economics, stall 8 is a good setup.
Right, you talked about it, Fran. Auguste Rodin came into this race last year. We completely blew out in the King George that day. It's a similar story in ways to the fact that he's coming from the same race. It didn't stop him last year.
No, and for Hong Kong viewers, when Graham is on this race on Saturday, it'll be the paddock that will tell me and people at home whether this horse can win. When he looks on his A game, he looks like a boxer ready to go out and fight. He can strip really lean and look really ready to go. His coat looks well. When he's off, he definitely looks light and just not at his peak. So that's the big thing with him. He's going to be the stable first string here again on Saturday. Ryan Moore in full flight on this occasion. And it should be noted with Auguste Rodin, when he's winning an on-top song, he tends not to win by too far, as seen on this occasion and in the Breeders' Cup last year. But when he can, on his best day, get the job done. This track, a stiff 10 furlongs, good run 10 furlongs, is an ideal setup for him. I think 2,400 metres, for all he won the Derby at Epsom, is not really his bag.
A few weeks ago, we were sat in this very situ, Graham, talking about the Juddmonte International. City of Troy went on to win it. Ghostwriter was 3rd that day, and he bids to go 2 better come Saturday. Yeah,
3-year-olds have been doing really well in the all-aged Group 1 races. This is Ghostwriter's personal best so far. City of Troy, a world-class horse. Calandagan, left of picture, a fast improving French youngster. 3-year-olds, 1, 2, 3. Ghostwriter runs a belter. But I think, based on all we know about the standards needed in this race, Nick, he'll need to be better again to win on Saturday. So I can certainly see him running with credit. That's what he does. But he's not done quite enough to convince me yet that he's a genuine Irish Champion Stakes potential winner.
Yeah, I think he needs a bit more. Let's tee up another Ballydoyle horse and get Fran's thoughts on Los Angeles, who won under a penalty over at York. I didn't think he'd necessarily be going down this route thereafter, but he's having a good season.
Yeah, and it's an illustration, I suppose, of the in-depth talent that Aidan O'Brien has with middle distance and staying horse. To see this Los Angeles coming back in distance, really good success here today. If you wanted a track and a trip to suit this horse, 2,400 metres at York, big long straight, time to get going. The form of that run, though, with King's Gambit ties in with a number of runners here today. Is a really good gritty effort, and look at his ears near the line. He's just doing what he has to do to win. Has he got the tactical speed for Leopardstown 2,000 metres? I'm not so sure. He will finish well, but for me, it's about stepping him up and trip beyond this race on Saturday.
And Fran, I'm going to throw this one to you as well. How good is this Japanese horse that's coming over, Shinempra?
I think he's a really interesting prospect. He's a brother of Sotsas, of course, who won the Arc for Jean-Claude Rouget a couple of years ago when he beat Enable. And Sotsas competed in his Arc prep in this race back in 2020 behind Magical. So the way the race unfolded here in Tokyo on this occasion, both the winner and the eventual second were sitting 3rd, 4th all the way throughout. Quite a steady pace in the mid part of the race. But look at the way this horse finishes off inside the final furlong to be 3rd. It was a really strong effort given with where he started in a run and the way in which he finished. Trainer Yahagi has outlined that the arc at Longchamp is his long-term plan. We've not seen him on a track since that run, but he's going to get a fast pace, likely fast pace, fast ground. That'll really play to his strengths. I think he's a really interesting and could be a big player at big odds.
Great.
I'm not convinced. He's got the trainer. Yahagi's a master or global trainer. Awesome. He's got the pedigree. I'm just not sure he's got the form, and this might be a springboard towards Longchamp. So I'm going to go with last year's 1-2, Auguste Rodin. He needs to bounce back. That's what he does. He's done it multiple times already. Auguste Rodin, Luxembourg. I think it might be a tactical race, which puts me off Economics slightly. And Los Angeles, who's slightly deceptive. 1, 3, 5, and 7 stand by for fireworks and tactical complexities in the Champion Stakes.
Fran, it's been 5 in a row for Ballydor. Are they going to make it 6, or are you going to go for Economics or elsewhere?
I'm going to stick with Auguste Rodin. Number 1, I think he's got a really good setup to strike here again on Saturday. And when you get Aidan O'Brien at this weekend, he tends not to miss. Economics will be held up and he should finish really well to be second. Number 5, Shin Emperor, perfect arc run for him back in third. Number 3, and Ghostwriter picking up the piece late on to be fourth. Number 6.
I hate to agree, but I'm going to. That'd be the one I would kick myself if he goes and wins and I haven't tipped him up. Auguste Rodin, I think they're just going to control it, and I think he'll be the first dual winner of the race since Magical. Best of luck, whatever you're going for in the Royal Bahrain Irish Champion Stakes. The next race, as we move on through the card, that is race 6, and it is the 2,400 metre Group 3, which you can look forward to. So the longest race we'd have seen at that point, certainly. Klondike travels over from the UK, William Haggis, and will be on the same transport link, of course, as Economics, who runs in the previous race, the big one. You go further down, Lafayette is there, Trust Your Instinct, interesting runner, Thunder Roll, Chantilly, Euphoric, Kinesiology, La Familia. They are your runners. Right, let's talk about William Haggis's runner and get Graham's thoughts on Klondike at York.
Yeah, I think Haggis went very close in this race with Al Arsi last year. He comes back with a different type of horse. This is more of a solid galloper. He got a perfect front-running ride in a steadily run race from Ryan Moore here. Won with authority. Then disappointed at York when the softish ground was blamed, but he bounced back at Deauville in a Group 3, getting first run under Christophe Soumillon and putting up what was probably his best performance yet. He's got a rating of 110, but do bear in mind, he's also got a small £3 penalty for his French win.
OK, that is Klondike. Let's have a look at Trust Your Instinct and get Fran's thoughts as he chased home last year to win the St Leger Continuous at the Curragh last month.
Yeah, and the second time we ran into a smart Ballydoyle horse, continues of course back in top form here as well. He travelled strongly. Trust Your Instinct, as he was when he was beaten by Jan Bruegel 2 starts ago at this track on the front end. Went out in his shield. He boxed on very well. Now you get the feeling that Continuous Ryan Moore on the near side was only going through the motions perhaps to go and win by half a length. But you got to love the way this horse boxed on really well. And if you take into the context of this race, the Continuous is a Group 1 horse in this race. Today, on this occasion, Trust Your Instinct is not got that calibre horse to take on. He's stepping up and trip here today. I think that will suit him very well. His forward style of racing could be a big plus around Leopardstown. He's a big player.
The lightly raced Samiha, I think she's really interesting, Graham. I know last year the master Dermot Wells said she's going to be next year's filly, and already this year they've won a Group 3 with her.
Well, she's only had 4 runs, and she's definitely getting better, Fran. This was a solid performance, her best yet. She picks up a small penalty for this success, but given that she's only had the 4 runs, she's entitled to progress again, surely.
While you see the stars, this was a huge effort to win on this occasion. Trevon's on the left of shot in the black and white colours, just beating Group 2 company at Deauville. She loves going right-handed. And Cork is a speed favourite and pace favourite track. The eventual second well ridden. The winner had to make a big move to crown the bend to get involved, and it's done enough to go away and win by a length and a half. Value for the winning margin, a really big performance. I think the best is yet to come from this filly. For her to win like that, the way the form has worked out since, she's getting better.
Yeah, and look at Dermot Wells winners in this race for Eagle. Fascinating. Roczykova, Azira wins it with good ones. Graham, what about you? The 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sometimes you have to trust your instinct. That's exactly what I'll do here with number 4. Fran's made a good point. His uncomplicated style looks a big plus for here. Should go really well. 3, Samir is definitely on the upgrade, and she's definitely Quinella contender. 1, Klondike, and 9, Kinesiology, consistent with headgear for the first time. But I'm trusting my instinct with Trust Your Instinct.
Fran.
I'm going to stick with Sumia, number 3. I think she's an exciting filly going on to better things beyond Saturday. She's getting to her peak. Klondike, number 1, back in 2nd. And Kinesiology keeping on late on. He will be doing his best work to finish back in 3rd, number 9. And Trust Your Instinct back in 4th, number 4.
Fran, I'll join you with Samiha to give Dermot Well yet another win in that particular race. Best of luck, whatever you go for. Right, this is a proper race to get stuck into, race 7. It's the Patingo Handicap. And it's a staying race. It's run over 2,600 metres, a monster field assembled for this, one which the guys are really going to have to delve deep into, those being Fran and Graham alongside Eagles Ways there, My Leica, Smooth Tom, who got there just about last time. Chemistry we'll be talking about shortly. Bialystok, Nürburgring, Comfort Zone, that's just your first page. Over the page, and we're going to see a load more of them, including Derry Lad, including On Or, Fighter, First Man, down to Surprise Package, the name's Jock, and Six Pack, who is at the first reserve. Let's have a look at Chemistry, Graham. This was a race and a result, and actually a steward's inquiry that was much talked of.
And the original first past the post taken down because there was interference. The grey horse on the far side looks a strong galloping stayer, does Chemistry. Headed at this point, rallies tenaciously, checked inside the final furlong, awarded the race in the steward's room. It all adds up to a mark of 100. Fran, is he well handicapped?
I think he's got the ability to win off 100, but I'm not sure it's entirely straightforward. He did rally here, Kinesiology parking in front and bumping him. Barnzo back in 3rd place as well. An interesting horse got up in the weights for that run. I'm just not sure a 20-odd runner handicap will play to his strengths.
Played to your strengths 10 years ago. Fran Berry was the winning rider, so he reminded us earlier. Let's have a look at Fighter, Fran, and another race in the pack potentially for Ballydoyle.
And a really good ride to pick up for Claiming Rider Wayne Hassett, £5 off this horse. I think for me he's the best of the Aidan O'Brien duo in this race. This was a really impressive success. He came up short at Limerick the time before that, but a no-nonsense ride here. He just kept extending. Really likeable, gritty effort, headgear on as well. He's going to be down the bottom of the weight. It's 54 kilos, less his rider's claim. For me, Fighter is a huge player here as well. Satin, last year's winner, was a 3-year-old. This horse got a really good profile, and I think a big field could really bring out the best in him.
Bred to be a pretty good horse as well by Frankel, and a relation to Trading Leather, the Irish Derby winner.
Yeah, very much so for Jim Bolger. Shall we have a look at Plontier? And this for Willie Manners. Is this the first time, Graham, we've had any form of obstacle race in a Whirlpool preview?
I'm not sure. It probably is, actually. But it's a Sligo maiden hurdle. It's not exactly Grade 1 company. But as you can see, he takes to his jumping well, and he absolutely bolts up. I'm going to throw to Fran here because this horse has been everywhere. He won multiple races in Poland. He won in France. He won in Spain. And the bottom line is, Fran, it's W.P. Mullins with a horse who could be really well treated because he's in with a wizard trainer now.
Yeah, for Hong Kong viewers, Sligo that they're looking at on the feed here is a bit like Happy Valley with hurls, so it's quite small, quite sharp, but this horse won readily in really good style. He's got a very similar profile to horse to Willie Mullins, inherited for the same owners, Hip Hop de Loire, who probably should have won the Eber Handicap of York recently, would have went very close. This horse, he's got a checkered career in the continent, but he's won 10 races. For me, it's highly interesting. Colin Keane takes the ride. He could be very well handicapped here.
Fran, let's have a look at last year's running of this very race. Can this form come to the fore once again?
Comfort Zone, yes, to White Cap now. He's drawn out a car park here on this occasion. Satin, she's been disappointing this season. I thought there was a better performance in her run at York recently. She bombed out completely on that occasion. Much too bad a run to be true. But here she is in the cheap pieces, red cap in her pomp. Comfort Zone just having to switch around Burns Song and to get going around the eventual winner. But the winner, once Shane Foley red cap got going, she really extended. But she was on a roll at this point of her career. She really lengthened down to win well. Comfort Zone, he's coming back to his best form, I think. And on this occasion, on revised terms, for me, Comfort Zone, Satin without the benefit of a 3-year-old weight allowance, is definitely one to be against based at York Run. Comfort Zone, a definite player despite a wide draw.
OK, 1, 2, 3, 4 in a really tricky race, Graham.
Yeah, I'm slightly out of my comfort zone here with these big handicaps, but I think he'll run well. But on top, I've gone for number 7, Amit Jamira, a filly who's really hit a rich vein of form at the moment, and she was impressive last time. She's on top from Plontier, could be very well handicapped. I'll take my chances with Willie Mullins. 11 Comfort Zone and 4 Smooth Tom, who was a cosy winner despite being eased prematurely last time.
Fran, you know exactly what it takes to win this. 10 years on from that famous success, and the first ever Irish Champions weekend as well. So it was one to mark. Who's in your 1, 2, 3, 4 this year?
Well, we see the VT of a hurdle race at Sligo, but it was not a hurdle race in the west of Ireland, the Galway hurdle that I'm going to. Nürburgring, trained by Joseph Bryan, was very impressive in the best handicap hurdle we've got here in Ireland. He won by 7 lengths that occasion. He's an improving 4-year-old, off a mark of 90, stall 12, perfect setup for him. He's the winner for me, number 10. The 3-year-old fighter, I think he's improving, number 19, back in second. The 2 unknown Willie Mullins horses on Irish form, number 5, Plantier back in third, and number 3, Mylaika, highly interesting as well, based on French form.
OK, I'm going to take a chance on one of the horses we saw, actually, but slightly further back earlier in one of those VTs. It's number 8, Under Billy Lee for Natalia Lupini. The horse is called Barnzo. Best of luck, whatever you're going for, in a ridiculously open race. Race 8, as we work our way towards the back end of the card, this big Whirlpool Saturday at Leopardstown. Well, it is the Sovereign Path Handicap, a premier event, run over 1,400 metres. Another big field assembled. Dunham looks to go one better than last year. Cerulean Bay, interesting runner indeed. I'm Superman. Further down, Night and Day, Hurricane Ivor, Cuban Tiger. That one travelling over for Carl Burke, who's got runners on the day. Havana Blue, Physique, Garfield Shadow, and further down to Old Faithful under Ryan Moore, Adamba Diplomat, Rory Mulligan. OK, let's have a look at last year's form, Graham, and Dunham looking to go one better, as mentioned.
Yeah, how's your luck when you run perhaps the race of your life and you run into Broadhurst, who comes from out of the clouds to win this and then goes on to Hong Kong, and a few months later wins the BMW Hong Kong Derby. But Dunham is a byword for consistency. He was probably a little unsuited by fast ground last time, and if there's a real strong improver in the field, he's probably vulnerable. But this performance and various others show you that he's a major force in good quality handicaps.
Yeah, he does look that way. To remember just how strong the winner won that day, and as you said, went internationally. Let's have a look at Physique beating a couple of these, Fran, at Galway under Big Money Hef.
And he was at his best in Physique here. Another pace angle on this race at Leopardstown as well. But Physique, low draw, got on the speed on a day where the inside track was firmly in play at Galway, day 7 of the festival. But this horse, he'd been working his way up to a good run in the green colours, and he just kept finding a bit more, maybe getting weight from Dunham, who ran a cracker. The ground may well have just gone for Dunham on this occasion, probably told that and the weight inside the final 100 yards. Hurricane Ivor keeping on really well to be second as well. The 3 of the trio, I think Dunham's got a better setup here on this occasion, going back to Leopardstown on drier ground. I think he's getting back to his best form. Physique an improver, but I think a long straight could catch him out.
Rami came over to the UK and ran in the mud at Chepstow last time. The race that preceded that was at the Curragh, Graham, running a bit of a cracker, and it does seem as though the blinkers have been a quite good addition.
I think they have. On the downside, you look at this fella's record and say, well, hello, he's lost his last 9 handicaps, but he is running really well. He turns in a very solid performance in a good race at the Curragh, doing his best work late on. He went to Chepstow and he looked the winner for 95% of that race, and he just seemed to idle late on. I think he's likely to run well. I think the nature of this race will suit him. He's been a bit frustrating, but I think he's in good enough form to snag a place, I think.
Let's have a look at a British raider. David O'Mara sends over Cerulean Bay, who has been absolutely flying, Fran.
Yeah, and a really good performance to beat in yellow Cuban Tiger, who reopposes as well on this occasion. He's an interesting type for Carl Burke, Clifford Lee coming over as well. That one will be coming out of stall 10 at Leopardstown, stall 15 for Cerulean Bay at Leopardstown. But the 2 of these horses, they made a run more or less together. Cerulean Bay in the blue and navy picking up maybe a shade quicker than the eventual second, but you got the feeling the winner is a little bit of value for the winning margin, for all that the eventual second is rallying against the not stiff finish at Tursk, of course, and different track, different characteristics. But for me, Cerulean Bay is on a real upgrade as well, a worthy contender.
OK, Graham, 1, 2, 3, 4, please.
Yeah, I like Cerulean Bay. I think he won with a bit more in hand than the margin suggests at Thirsk. I think a £4 hike for that is very fair. and the addition of Colin Keane doesn't dent confidence in the slightly. So he's on top, 3 Cerulean Bay, 5 Rami, 4 I Am Supan and 1 Dunham. But 3, 1 for the Brits, Cerulean Bay for me.
Fran?
Cerulean Bay for me, number 3 is the one to be with. Dunham for the second year in succession, number 1 back in second. And the English trained challenger as well, Cuban Tiger back in third, number 9. Old Faithful, Ryan Moore will have to be his best to get him to go, but he will finish strong and late, number 17 back in fourth.
I was going to take a chance on I Am Superman to win this. James Ryan and Michael O'Callaghan, horse who's travelled plenty, and I Am Superman, who's got the headgear combination for the first time, is my selection as we work our way towards the end of the card. And like that, we're at the last race, the 9th and final event on a Marathon World Pool Saturday at Leopardstown. It is the HKJC World Pool Autumn Filly and Mares Handicap, 1,600 metres, 19 declared runners. It doesn't get any easier, does it? Star Galaxy, Aristeig's having a good time of things. Further down, Snellen, who's won at Royal Ascot before. Quadruple will be coming to. Over the page. Here they are, there's more of them. Solar Breeze, Anvika, Eleanor Dashwood, September Leaves, Lucky Out, and down to Super Exceed under that man, Wesley Joyce. I mentioned the horse, goes to the powerful combination, very well bred filly as well. Frankel daughter, Quadruple winning at the Curragh.
Yeah, this is a likeable, progressive filly, and she's not complicated either, which is handy for a big field round the bend at Leopardstown. 6 runs, 2 wins, winner at Limerick, and no second here, and then this solid performance at the Curragh, up £6 is exactly what you'd expect, and a good run is also exactly what you would expect from Quadruple.
Yeah, it does sound like Ger Lyons really likes her, and sees her as one for the long term, if not now as well. We can also have a look at more Curragh form recently, Fran, and Vera's Secret.
Yes, on Irish Oaks weekend, this was a really devastating performance, a highly unexposed into handicaps here after having 3 runs in maiden company, off a base mark at 68. She won in a canter. She was sent to the lead inside the final couple of furlongs, having held that far rail. The form of this race is nothing like it in the context of what she's going to take on Saturday, but look at the manner in which she's won inside the final 100 yards. Set on the back of this win, a big task running the Irish Cambridgeshire last time. I think she emerged with credit. There was a pace collapse on that occasion. She lay up with a strong pace. He needed to be in rear and also towards stand side. She wasn't there. Going back around the bend could suit her very well. I would definitely counter into any calculations that you got.
OK, Fran, let's get the thoughts of Graham alongside with Evening Blossom, who we can have a look at. For Joseph O'Brien, she's been going very well indeed. This is key form, this Leopardstown race. It's working out well.
Yeah, she's clicked on her last 2 runs, and I think on both those occasions, Fran, toughness was the hallmark of the performance. She really had to get down and work, but she seems to relish a battle.
Yes, battled on to win. Took her a while to get off the mark, but when she did at Gorham Park, she battled on really strongly to win. And again, showed a really good attitude here to beat the Juddmonte filly back in second, Vivienda. She won at Gorham Park last week. The filly in the black and white colours who reopposes September Leaves won at Gorham Park on the same day as Vivienda. Really strong form. I think this filly is getting better. She's by Camelot. Connections tried running her over longer trips. That didn't work. Since getting back to 1600, she's really found her niche.
Yeah, there's a lot to like about her form stacks up. Right, for the 9th and final time, you're 1, 2, 3, 4, Graham.
Fingers crossed and hope for a bit of luck here. I'm a Vera's Secret fan. She shot up massively in the weights for that runaway win, but she wasn't disgraced last time. Uncomplicated run style. And I think a Hood for the first time. 9, she's on top of 8, Sapphire, British Raider, who was a tidy winner at Beverley last time. 7, Quadruple, solid recent form. And 3, Independent Expert, who only just went down in a 3-way go for the Irish Cambridgeshire. But 9, Speculator, Vera's Secret on top for me.
Fran, for you.
I'm really a big fan of Jessica Harrington's runner here, Serialized number 11. She did well to win at Cork over 1,400 metres last time, up in distance here. I think she will be a different proposition. Back in second, Evening Blossom number 15 as well. She's improving, likes the track. Number 7, Quadruple, again an improving 3-year-old for trainer Ger Lyons, and a previous Leopardstown winner back in fourth, number 4, Lady Lunette.
OK, and it is Evening Blossom for me to win the last, number 15. And I just want to thank the man in the screen, Fran Berry, of course, Irish racing expert, knows a thing or two about it as well. And Graham Cunningham, of course, our resident expert as well. Thank you very much to both of them, who hopefully will have provided you plenty of good info going into Saturday. Best of luck, however you play this big World Pool Day from Leopardstown.